So it's an absolute pleasure to be joined by Joe Black. How are you doing?
Hello, hello, hello. I'm all right. I've been mainlining the coffee today. Another day in what appears to be a year of solitude for everybody.
Firstly, I think we need to approach the subject of a cake that appeared from a certain brand on Valentine's Day.
That was a very nice surprise. You know, I thought they were going to send me clothes, and then I got a. This is how you know it's a fancy delivery. When they don't press the buzzer, but they call your phone and say, "Hello, sir, there is a delivery for you." And I go outside, and there was a lovely blacked out car with a man in a suit. And he said, "Mr. Black?" And I said, "Yes." And he said, "A gift from H&M for you." And then he went to the back of the car and pulled out the biggest cake I've ever seen in my life and the biggest bouquet of roses I have also ever seen in my life. It was like wedding party sized things. That was a lovely surprise.
Yeah, it's very strange of them. Very nice of them. Did you consider as like a peace offering, maybe sending a little piece to Rue?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. No, it's mine.
Have you tried a piece yet? Is it good cake?
Oh, it's very, very good cake. It was absolutely gorgeous. I don't know where H&M get their cakes made, but maybe I don't know how often they send out cakes. To be honest with you, I'm not sure. I'm not sure they're known for being a bakery, but it was absolutely very delicious.
It's a lovely way to spend Valentine's Day.
Oh yeah, it's so big it didn't really even fit on my kitchen side. It's kind of like half floating off, and I've got a cat, and I'm just constantly living in fear that he's going to jump up onto the cake and put it all down. But he's just sort of passed out next to me at the moment in a jumper.
Right, so obviously I've actually known, well, actually I've played a gig with you before. We're talking about 15 odd years ago now, when you first started out in Portsmouth. Your act has obviously grown and changed a lot throughout that time from when you first started. Did you actually apply for the first series of UK Drag Race, or did you wait until the second time round?
No, I applied for season one as well. Didn't get any particular steps forward with it. But then, yeah, season two got all the way, which was nice. I applied for season one. I actually also previously applied for the American one when I thought that there was like this rumor that you didn't need to be based in America to do it for this particular season. So off I went and applied, and then I got all the paperwork, and it said, please attach your right to work in America. I was like, well, I don't have that, so I guess I put an end to that one.
Do you know what was different this time around?
I think in the audition process, I think in the first one, I was very calculated in my audition. I was maybe a little bit robotic in the second one, because I was like, there were other people in Brighton that I was certain was going to get it. So I approached the season two auditions a lot more casually and I think probably authentically, because I wasn't convinced I was going to get it. So I was less kind of controlling. And yeah, I guess controlling is the word to put it. I was much less calculated in the things I was saying and doing. So I guess the kind of, they always say, oh, be yourself, be yourself, be yourself. When you're filming something, when you're trying to get onto something, there's always, I guess, going to be an element of, I don't want to say, well, a disingenuousness. I don't know what the word would be.
Yeah.
You're putting on a show. But for the season two audition, I wasn't really put on the show. I was super casual about it, and I guess that showed, and that's what worked.
Obviously, maybe you kind of took the pressure off yourself and allowed you to be you.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, there was I did it I had a less intense, because it's quite an intense process. And I was a lot easier on myself, and I, started way in advance, and I just did bit by bit by bit and then placed it all together. The first season I crammed it. I was in America when they announced it was opening, and then I had something like a week before the deadline to get my tape in. So I got home from Seattle, and then I think I got in a couple of hours, slept, woke up, got straight on with making it, and it was like 3 days solid, staying up till like 5, 6 in the morning, editing footage together. But this one was just a lot more casual. It worked out.
Yeah. I mean, obviously it didn't work out quite as well as maybe planned, out in the first episode, but then coming back again, you were voted back. That I think, and I heard you in an interview, I think it was yesterday or the day before, that you were saying that it was an honor to come back, but you didn't actually want to stay again because of the people that had, worked through the other week. And I thought that was just a great sentiment, that it was an honor to come back, but you wouldn't have taken the place if you got to keep it as well. I think that was just wonderful.
Oh yeah, for me it's like, I only found out 3 weeks before that I might have been coming back. I don't think I could have lived with the guilt of taking the spot of somebody that had got through episodes 2, 3, and 4 and done all those things. So even if it was for one more episode, like, you know, I'm quite happy to be a guest player. That, you know, they had spent 7 months knowing they were going back. I did not have that. I was sort of emotionally tapped out of the whole thing, because as far as I was concerned, like, I was done with it, and then I had to get back in the headspace of going through the process again. But no, I absolutely couldn't have rightfully. I mean, it's all well and good saying that, you know, in the moment would I have done it, you know, because it would have taken quite a lot of guts to, like, as someone else was walking away, to stand in the way and go, nah, I'm gone. But, you know, I you know, that it. Ideally, that's what I would have liked to have done. But the thing is, there's like a Drag Race curse of whoever comes back always leaves immediately anyway. Like, no one has ever stayed in all of the history of a returning person in the franchise.
Yeah, so you just carried it on, lived on with the curse.
Yeah, I know. I'm carrying on the trends.
So I did want to ask you, because obviously, so we actually grew up. So we both grew up in Portsmouth, and we know a lot of the same sort of people. Well, actually, you grew up with my wife, which is a very strange situation, because I found out you were in this series of Drag Race by basically she screamed and I thought someone had died because because she was like, "Oh, Joe Black's in the new UK Drag Race." I was like, "Okay." I thought something was massively wrong. I like ran down from my office thinking that, you know, major things were going wrong. But so it's great to see that. But when you first started out in Portsmouth, like I said, I played a gig with you a couple of times, like at the Junkyard show at the Havana Club and things like that.
Yeah, I was going to say, where was that? I loved the Havana Bar.
Yeah.
You know, I used to go there. I mean, it's closed down now, so I can say this rightfully. I used to go there underage because they never ID'd people. And I remember we'd get jugs of sangria. And then, you know, me at sort of, I guess, 16 or 17 years old, dressing like Tom Waits at 16 or 17 years old, drinking sangria, you know. Like, what sort of 16-year-old dresses like Tom Waits? I mean, that says a lot about me. You know, drinking sangria in like the dirtiest. It was a filthy little dive bar, wasn't it? I loved it.
Yeah. There was a certain character to it, but
yeah, did it have like flat? Let me see if I remember this. Did it have like? Do you know the kind of place where the music isn't that loud, but there's still like flashing lights?
Yeah,
it was that kind of place, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was very much. A very, very small stage.
Oh yes.
But when you were starting out, because like for me, Portsmouth at that time, like we're talking like 15 odd years ago, didn't seem very inclusive. It seemed very like lads, navy. That's sort of like. That was the sort of feeling I got from it. So when you were starting with your act, was it a bit of a challenge to come forward and like, because I just know like Brighton's obviously a very more inclusive, accepting sort of place. I didn't feel like Portsmouth was like that 15 years ago. Like, was it difficult?
Oh no, you know, it absolutely wasn't like that 15 years ago. You know, it's the thing with like not necessarily even. I mean, most seaside towns, to be honest, but Portsmouth is very much like a naval. It's a naval town. You're right, lads, kind of thing. But I think also that's kind of why I think I did well and quite quickly. It is because no one else was doing that. And then thinking back to it, you know, I was doing that in some really, really rough venues. Like, and I didn't care. I was, you know, that was there. I think, you know, even with all the, well, now more sort of glammy, but you know, underneath all the makeup and piano and accordion playing, ultimately, I think what I do is certainly got an element of kind of punkness about it.
Yeah.
A real kind of like, I'm going to do this whether you like it or not. And even now, if I might be in a, you know, an ostrich feather boa and a sequin dress, but I'm still going to go out there. I might be doing, you know, songs from the 30s, but it's, for me, still has a real element of like, you know, this is me, here you go.
Yeah.
And I think people, that's what people like about it. And I think, yeah, Portsmouth, it was such a juxtaposition, I think that's the word I'm looking for, of a very kind of, but the thing is, the local music scene was really, really thriving in Portsmouth.
Yeah.
As well. And I mean, obviously now local music scenes are not thriving anywhere because there is none. Everyone's at home. Very local, isn't it? You know, in your own house.
Yeah.
And I think I was doing something so different that I think I kind of got kudos for going against what the city was.
Yeah. I mean, no one has ever replaced you since you've moved to Brighton. There's not been another Joe Black in Portsmouth. You are very unique, and you have not been replaced yet.
Thank you. I'm good, and I've stuck to my. That's the thing with Drag Race as well, is that Drag Race has an element of adapting to the format of the show, and I don't think I did that at all, and I don't think I would have done myself a disservice by changing myself to fit it.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of the things I'm most proud of, that no matter what, I've always managed to stay to stay Joe Black.
Yeah.
Regardless. I mean, obviously I've moved with the times and it's developed and changed, but that's been for no one but me.
Yeah. I mean, from watching you on Drag Race, I could see an honesty that was there from, like, you know, like I said, like 15 odd years ago. There was still that element of your performance all the way through. Like, that's not changed. That was definitely still you. You hadn't played up to the cameras or anything like that.
No, I to be honest, I forgot the cameras were there most of the time. And sometimes I'd like say something and be like, oh, this is being filmed, isn't it? This is being filmed. And I just entirely forgot the cameras were there. And actually, in episode 1 in particular, everyone's really, really fighting for their screen time. And I just said nothing because I was just like, well, you know, everyone's all just, you know, being loud and stuff. And I'm just, I'll just get on with it.
Yeah.
That was which I don't think makes great reality television necessarily. But I'm very proud that I still managed to be me. It was a bit Malfear in episode 5, but still, again, quite authentically myself.
Yeah. No, I know you're a very busy man nowadays. You've got another interview to do just after this, but you are coming back to Portsmouth to play the wedge, which is going to be wonderful to see. It's in November time, isn't it?
It is in November.
Hopefully, by then, you know, the world's less crazy and that actually will go ahead as planned.
Well, this show has been rescheduled, I think, 3 times.
Yeah.
So I think this is rescheduled number 3. And I think it was supposed to be like last May. Then we moved it to October. Then we moved to October. Then we moved it to February. No, March. And now we've moved it to November. So this is the 4th date we've had. Yeah, I love the Wedge Room so much.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's a wonderful venue. Best of luck with everything else that you're doing, all the mammoth things you're doing. You've got gin on the go now, a lovely cake to smash through, and then an amazing tour coming up. Yeah, it's been amazing to chat to you, Joe, and hopefully
lovely
see you in November.
See you in November, I hope.
Yeah, thank you very much. Bye.
Bye.